Hello, today is October 23rd, 2021. Start with our disclaimer as we always do. It's my trading plan for Monday, October 25th. Remember, I can be completely wrong and all trades should be at your own risk. We always start by going over our calls, look for the pattern with the early low. This is it. And Monday's pattern should have the early high. We said unless we gapped up smartly, which we didn't, we gapped down. Unless we gapped up smartly, we should see 45, 35, 56. Despite hitting a new high, that number did print, and there was resistance of sorts at that price. During the day, early on, MEJT gave a buy signal. A buy signal just means there's a higher target. Target was quite close. It was hit immediately, and when it printed, system said it was false and prices would retrace. There was also a lower target. It was optional, but it almost always prints. So up here, you knew there was an optional lower price, and that printed. All these F's show moves the system said would retrace, and they certainly did. This retraced to here, and all these things retraced between the white lines. Now we had a long-standing price target that we trade 165 points or so over this trend line. At Friday's high, we traded 162.5 points over the line, and that's really close enough for me. It's a target. It's not a stop and reverse. But the point is the break over this trend line isn't really obligated to go any further. Doesn't mean it's obligated to retrace either, but you can't look for this pattern to offer any more. I mean, there might be some other things that offer more, but not this. There's some interesting trend lines here. You connect, well, let's start with this low and this low. You'll see it meets right here. And then if you draw a trend line through all these highs, connects to this high perfectly. So when these trend lines meet, that's a common place to look for a reversal. And if you gap over it, you've overcome resistance from each of these lines. We also have this high as a Fibonacci target of the prior consolidation. So you really want to gap over this line to have the rally continue because you've stopped right at strong resistance. In addition, after hitting a new all-time high, you immediately dropped under the lows, all the lows of the prior consolidation. That's a pattern called a 2B top. It's a very negative pattern. It shows a rejection of the high. That would have been a lot more convincing if we closed down here, and the pattern's going to be killed if we trade over this high. But for right now, it's a rejection of the high, and it doesn't really help that we hit all these highs and closed under all of them. Well, let's take a look at the wave count. We can't be certain it's right, but there is pretty good wave balance on multiple time frames here. If you look at this last wave up, if you count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you'll see that this wave 5 exactly equal to wave 3, and is an exact fib target of wave 1. And if you look at this wave brown C and compare it to wave brown A, see it's exactly 1.618 times A. So again, we've got trend line resistance, Fibonacci resistance, got an upside target satisfied. We have rejection of the new highs. It's all pretty negative stuff for the short term at least, it all gets invalidated. We take this out ideally by gapping over it. But if we don't, I look for a pullback of some sorts. And the ideal situation for the bears is to gap under this low. In fact, if we don't, I'd be a bit suspicious of the call. Now, we did trade significantly lower right after we closed on Friday. It actually makes me suspicious all this bearishness won't really work, because we had all kinds of time to break lower when big money was in play. And as soon as they left the table, that's when we had the drop. So it tells me big money wasn't behind it. So I'm suspicious, but right now it's a negative pattern. And if we don't gap and promptly overtake this high, I'd look for lower prices. Now Monday's pattern has the early high. We could still gap down. Typically it's a rally day with a final hour high. Failure is a straight line drop. I look for higher highs to print before the year's out, but there were a number of short-term bearish features in Friday's trade. Immediately after hitting a new all-time high, made a straight line move under the lows of the prior consolidation. It's a 2B top pattern, a rejection of the new high. Would have been more convincing if we closed lower or if we gap under Friday's low on Monday. I also don't like the fact we hit a new all-time high and closed in the red. The upside target of the pattern was essentially satisfied Friday. We have trend line resistance and wave balance at Friday's high. Bulls need for us to gap and promptly overtake Friday's high, or we should see lower prices Monday regardless of how we close. But ideal, if we do see lower prices Monday, we should keep dropping. And we'll have to wait for Monday's trade to see if that happens, because we've had wave balance before and trend line hits before, and we've just kept going up. But at least you're at a price level where if we do drop, it's credible to get follow through. And that is today's call.